Good morning on this Wednesday, the 28th of October. This is out our back landing, and Christmas before last, we'd strung up some Christmas lights, and at that stage, a couple of sunbirds um, on the shoulder here built this nest hanging around one of the dangling sparkly lights, and we decided to leave it up and see how it went. And what you can see here are the three chicks. It was a great success, this one. I've seen other nests get attacked, but over the space of the next couple of months, you could see mum and dad sharing nesting duties and feeding, and we just got this beautiful photo. And over my shoulder here are the three little babies, and they barely got any length on their tails, and they ventured out one evening and flew around a bit, and then perched here on the wire for the night. And the next morning they're off, and then we haven't seen them since. It took them a little while to get the feel for flying, and they were away. Just beautiful opportunity for them. For these birds, they love nesting close to buildings, of course, because we humans tend to scare away the major predators. So they do quite well in urban environments. But it could have gone so much worse, through many dangers. These young chicks survived and made their way in the world. And we still have seen either these or their parents flying around since then. Today I thought I'd read from Psalm 105, and I've got some selected verses, 1 to 6, and then from verse 37. It says, "Give thanks to the Lord, proclaim his greatness, tell the nations what he's done. Sing praise to the Lord, tell the wonderful things he's done. Be glad that we belong to him. Let all who worship him rejoice. Go to the Lord for help and worship him continually, you descendants of Abraham, his servant, you descendants of Jacob, the man he chose. Remember the miracles that God has performed and the judgments that he gave." And then verse 37. "And he led the Israelites out, and they carried silver and gold, and all of them were healthy and strong. The Egyptians were afraid of them and were glad when they left. God put a cloud over his people and a fire at night to give them light. They asked, and he sent quails. He gave them food from heaven to satisfy them. He opened a rock, and water gushed out, flowing through the desert like a river. Remembered his sacred promise to Abraham, his servant. So he led his chosen people out, and they sang and shouted for joy. He gave them the lands of other peoples and let them take over their farms, so that his people would obey his laws and keep his commandments." Praise the Lord. And this carries on from the Exodus reading we had yesterday. The events that are talked about in that last part of the psalm pick up the events that carry on. It doesn't talk about people's ingratitude or their grumbling or complaining, but it's celebrating the fact that God was there for them, which is one of the things I was talking about yesterday. And the way out of despair, the way out of lassitude, being tired and unable to move, is to remember the good things that God has done for you. And in this psalm, there's an opportunity to remember all of what God has done, to encourage ourselves to remember those good things and to retell the story. Remember when God did this. Remember when this was good. And as we continue to be thankful, that gratitude will shape our attitude to the world around us. I could have looked at my past experiences with wildlife close to home and gone, "Oh, it's going to be a disaster." But this was an absolute joy for myself, my wife, my grandkids. They just absolutely loved having a look at the nest and picking the kids up so they could see in without touching the birds. And after they'd all flown and the nest was left abandoned, I know my granddaughter took the nest to show and tell, and were able to pack up. And since then, the birds have come back, but we've got a couple of big thick bushes near the house, which is where they've nested in since. Remember, give gratitude, celebrate the great things that God has done.